Welcome to the TikTok Drop Capsule. Time to open today's drop, and it's a hard reality check.
Nah, bro. Nah. Nope. No way. No how. Listen, before I do anything with you at all, schedule a date, a coffee date, decide to meet you, decide to FaceTime you for more than 2 minutes, I need to know if you have a life-changing and a potentially life-threatening illness that is highly contagious and infectious and that could threaten my well-being and threaten my life. Now, you need to disclose in your dating profile. You need to disclose on the dating profile of Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, BLK. I don't care. In your online dating profile, I need to know this information. It is critical to me making a decision about my own future and personal health and whether I want to spend any time with you at all. I need to know up front.
I'm HIV positive, right? And this is just a PSA to those that are not HIV positive. Disclosure is my choice. When I disclose and how I disclose and who I disclose to is up to me. I find it so crazy how people are telling me that I need to disclose before I go on a date, that I need to disclose before I kiss somebody. This is the craziest one. Before I even tell them my name. It's not happening. I don't think that it's my responsibility to tell someone that I'm HIV positive if they are treating me as if I'm not. Your health is your responsibility. Adopt the mindset of medical practitioners. Assume that everyone has something until they prove to you that they do not. Why are you kissing a stranger or trying to kiss a stranger that you just met? Why are you trying to have intercourse with someone raw that you just met? You don't know me from a hole in a wall. Why are you trying to put your thing inside of me without any kind of protection? Why do I have to be the one to say, hey, chill out, I'm HIV positive, instead of you asking, taking the time to know me, get to know me, let's go get tested together if you want to take the next step? Why do I have to be the one protecting you from yourself? No, baby, that is not my responsibility. And I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, love you, bye.
I met my match and caught HIV. The truth about dating apps.
Me talk about the situation who gave me HIV. So I decided to record this video. I'm not gonna out anyone. I don't. So my story. Let me just tell you the story, guys. So in my whole dating life, in my whole I came out I think like at 17, and it's just like I dated 3 main people. Then I think it was like around the 3rd person I had like a not bad, but I had I was kind of immature and had like a rebellious oh, you broke up with me, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and I was on dating apps like Grindr and Tinder and all that, and I just wasn't safe. I was not safe. I was talking, and I went to his house, and everything was cool. It probably wasn't the best situation, honestly. It was not the best situation, I'm gonna be honest, and I just decided to go through it. I don't know why, I was thinking with my other head, not this head. So I decided to go through with it, and I just remember having it, and it was just it wasn't like a bad feeling, it was just a weird feeling, kind of like uncertain. So I left his house, and I met him on Grindr. So I left his house, and as soon as I left his house, it was kind of like a bye, and then it was like a ghost. He blocked me, and he blocked my number. Well, he didn't block my number. I didn't even get his number. He blocked me on Grindr. So I remember I forgot his name, and I forgot where he lived and all this kind of stuff. So as soon as I got in the car and drove off, I was blocked on Grindr. So that's my feeling, where I feel like I got HIV, because he was an older guy. Not even saying it's an older thing, but I'm saying he was just older, and we didn't use protection, and that was I'm going back to all my previous relationships, I was always consistent, and none of the guys that I'm consistent have HIV. So it was kind of that was weird for him to block me as soon as I left. I didn't really think about it too much. I was kind of oh, okay, maybe I'm just thinking, maybe he just thought I was ugly, and I was kind of nervous, okay, maybe I'm just overthinking it. So I continued on with my life. I let everything go. And this happened in Dallas, guys. So I was like, everything's fine, I'm fine. And then I think I checked myself again, or I went to go get checked for like if I had any STDs, and I was fine, and everything was good, and I was like, fine. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. Maybe I was just tripping. So a few months go by, fast forward, lots of stuff's happening, my life's changing, I'm moving, this is happening, and I feel fine. I get super sick at work, I remember, and like in LA, there was actually a vlog that was posted that I was like kind of coughing in. I was kind of sick. I think it might be still up on this person's channel, but yeah, there was a vlog and I was kind of sick and I was coughing, but I didn't really relate it to that. I thought it was just cold because it was like around cold time, and I was just like, oh, maybe I'm just cold, maybe I just have a cold. So I really didn't pay too much mind about it, and I was like, okay, I'm okay. And my body hasn't really changed at this time. I was kind of like just losing a lot of weight, and I was just kind of tired all the time at this point. And I was just like, thinking about it now, it kind of makes sense, like time periods and when I met him and when I got sick and when I started to feel wrong, and like, reading the history of HIV and like when you start to feel symptoms, I kind of like link it towards that. So I feel like it was towards him. I honestly don't know his name. I just honestly know he blocked me as soon as like after we hooked up, and it was like a really bad situation because I was so young. Like I don't necessarily regret it. I regret like not being smart about it, and I feel like now I'm very like aware of what people are capable of and what they can do, and not everyone has good intentions, so always be safe and never trust anyone but yourself, and you never be that person to do something like that. And I think it's so crazy. So I really don't know where it came from. Like I'm pretty sure it was this person because I've talked to tons of my exes and tons of people. This whole situation is so awkward and so hard, and it's been so uncomfortable, but you got to do it. So like even as a person, as a spiritually, morally person, I just have to do it. And today I went to go get this bracelet, and let me tell you what this bracelet is. And I went to the crystal shop. I just feel like I really needed it, something new. It's really cute, and I believe in like spiritual things and all that kind of stuff.
You ever sit there scrolling on a dating app, just looking for something real? A little conversation, a connection, maybe even love. It feels harmless, right? Just another way to meet people. But for some folks, that one swipe changed everything. They weren't catfished, they weren't ghosted. They met someone, trusted them, fell for them, and ended up catching HIV. That's not a headline. That's real life. And nobody talks about it.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Please take me seriously. A lot of men are DL. A lot more than you think.
Yeah, I know. That's how I got HIV. That's how most women get HIV from men that are on the DL. They have no idea they're being exposed to HIV because these men live secret lives. And I have plenty of intel from gay men who share with me that they basically only see DL men. DL men love them, and they love DL men. And the problem is that most of these DL men want a bottom, which is the highest risk for HIV. And they don't go on PrEP, and they don't use condoms. They just do it bareback. So that puts them at risk for HIV. They bring it home to their wives and girlfriends, and bada boom, bada bang, you got HIV. Don't be believing these fools when they're telling you they got it from a woman. Look up the stats. The odds of getting it from a woman are so unlikely. It's like being struck by lightning. I promise you that. They use women as a scapegoat to hide their sexual secrets. I've been watching this for 9 years through my ad.
If you've been to the doctor and you've tested positive for HIV, AIDS, or herpes, an incurable STD, they should automatically be required to put you into a database that can be searched nationally by anybody, so that they can know if the person they're dating or the person they're in a relationship with has HIV, AIDS. Because they make sex offenders register, right? Nationally. You can't even buy a house if you're a sex offender. You on my fucking Ring camera. My Ring app will show you sex offenders in the area. It's insane. But you mean to tell me the government still hasn't come up with a protocol to put something in place where people with HIV, AIDS literally have to go into a database so that we can search it to see for ourselves? Are you really leaving it up to these people to tell their partners that they're HIV positive? Why do you think there's 20,000 new cases in Atlanta? Motherfuckers are not telling. And first of all, a lot of them are not getting tested. That's the problem. They don't even know they have it. They're just out here giving it away. But for the ones that do know they have it, they're not telling either. And that's really what's unfortunate, because hurt people hurt people. So now they want to hurt everybody else because they're hurt. So why the fuck isn't the government taking it more seriously? Why isn't there a database where people automatically go into it? They don't have to register. Like a sex offender, you have to register yourself. Fuck that. No, the doctor office or wherever you get your test from, they need to be registering the people automatically as soon as they test positive, because it's not going to go away. It is what it is. It's incurable. That would alleviate so many issues with HIV/AIDS, because people can, do their due diligence. I mean, still get your partner tested, of course. Go with your partner and get tested, but that would eliminate so much of the legwork. Just knowing if you've already been tested for it and it was positive. It just, I don't know. This world is sick.
So, Ray, I know you done seen the video of the woman. She kind of went viral because she was snooping around her boyfriend's apartment and found a bottle of medicine, Googled it, and found out it was HIV medicine. Now she has it. And what do you say? What kind of advice can you give to people about this type of situations when they are going in and having intercourse with somebody? Like, what do you say?
I say you got to be a little bit more careful. Worry about your health over the look, because a lot of these people are running around here spreading this stuff, and it's bad. There's been several videos of people going viral of somebody, and they posting a picture after it's too late saying that be careful with this person because they intentionally giving this. Some of them are going in, they vengeful. Somebody done hurt them and gave it to them, so they say, well, you know what, I ought to go spread it and give it to somebody else. And that's a bad way to think, because it's a crime. That's criminal. And women, men, wake up. If you see some medication in their home and it's just that person living there and it's their name on it, I would Google that stuff to find out. Google is free.
Yep, that's right.
Life.
So please go get yourself checked. You need to be, if you doing anything unprotected or anything, you need to be having regular checkups in the first place.
Man.
But man, save your life. And actually, stop doing that.
Dating apps make everything feel safe. The profiles are clean, the smiles are bright. The bios say good vibes only. You start believing that everyone on there is just like you, normal people looking for love or fun. But here's what no one tells you. Behind that profile picture could be someone who hasn't been tested in years. Someone who's living fast, meeting people every weekend, never asking the hard questions. And you know what? People don't like to talk about status. They don't like to say, hey, when's the last time you got tested? Because it kills the mood, right? But that silence, that fear of being honest, is exactly how this happens.
Imagine you find love in the workplace. You fall in love with a coworker, y'all dating, going on concerts, going on different dates, seeing each other all the time. I mean, everything is amazing. And you decide now y'all want to be a little bit more intimate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had did something before, but you were like, you know what? Let's do this the right way. Let's get tested. Let's make sure we're both good. You get your results back and it's negative. You ask him what was his results. He tell you it's negative. Everything is going amazing until you started getting sick. Oh, you got stays in the hospital. You're losing weight. You lost almost 65 pounds. You go to the dentist and he tell you there's thrash all in your mouth. And that's not normal to have thrash in your mouth without there being an underlying condition. This last stay at the hospital, the doctor comes in there and he tells you, hey, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you have AIDS. You've been infected. You're like, what? Because you're knowing that you and your partner has been tested. Ain't nowhere in hell you could have anything. But only to find out that this man here, Kareem, your coworker, infected you. Not only did he infect you, he infected his wife that he had, that you knew nothing about. Now this man finds out that you have it, and you're pursuing a case against him because you come to find out his wife is infected, and she's been infected since 2009. And here it is, 2013, and you have it. So he knew he was infected, and he intentionally infected you, but you also find out he intentionally infected his wife as well. This man is from the Houston area. You need to share and repost this, because the women in that area need to know if they've ever came in contact with him, it's a possibility you might be infected as well. He's currently took a plea deal for 30 years for intentionally infecting women. Once again, I want to say he's in the Houston area. Share and repost so that the women in that area can know.
HIV doesn't have a face. You can't tell by looking. You can't tell by how healthy someone looks, how nice they seem, or what kind of car they drive. It's invisible, and that's what makes it so dangerous. There are people walking around who don't even know they have it yet, and there are others who do know, but choose not to tell the truth. That's not love. That's not respect. That's a betrayal that changes someone else's life forever.
I don't know who needs to hear this, and this might poke a nerve, but I'm gonna still talk about it, Chad, because it needs to be talked about. I think it is time that everybody collectively, men and women, black, white, and everything in between, start making peace and being honest as to the dating reality of today. This word is very vain, okay? Vanity has been a human thing for a long time, but it's gotten significantly more vain. And I blame this on westernization, specifically America. I feel like American media, American Hollywood, or whatever it is, has definitely, it's not a bad thing necessarily, nor a good thing, but it just is, Chad. The word has become significantly way more vain. You see it in the celebrities, you know what I'm saying? The people, we make stars and things like that. What makes them famous? Because they're bright, yellow, big boobs, big tits, you know, because they got body slinging. A lot of these people have no talents whatsoever. They just serve sex appeal. It's just the way it is. And a lot of the trickle down effect of that, and I understand that a lot of that has brought opportunities for a lot of us that came from nothing, especially us black and brown people that came from nothing. You know, shake a little ass online, you know what I'm saying, do your tits and, you know, wear a little wig and things like that. You know, somebody signs you and things like that. It's been able to lift some generational poverty and things like that. But we also have to understand the cause and effect of that. Everything has become so vain and vapid that relationships are now water under bridge. And as a result, you see a lot of people just getting together because they're just pretty. She's light skinned and got big tits and big boobs, and that's it. That's literally it. Oh, he's got big D energy, and you know he's tall, dark, and handsome. He got dreads, and whatever the situation is, you seeing that on that dating show. It's very shallow, and that's not even the worst part of it. Again, that's okay. But when you have all these relationships come together, these people who are just getting together just solely based on physicality alone, I don't understand how you expect them to be faithful. Infidelity is a must because there's nothing of deep significance that's bringing these two people together. I'm just keeping it real, Chad. And I know a lot of these vapid shit has been, you know, commodified and marketed to be cute, you know, couple goals, just a bunch of vain shit. You know, a lot of these videos and pictures and whatever the fuck it is just filtered and photoshopped to stupor. It is what it is. It's cute to look at. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely entertaining. But there's nothing about her, apart from the fact that she's yellow or she's got a fat this and that keeps him coming back. There's nothing about him that is significant enough to have her coming back, apart from the fact that he has money. A lot of that money is just, I don't know, illegally gotten, or maybe it is legally gotten, but there's no real deep substance because the human being is not complete in body, mind, and spirit. It has just been capitalized off of just physicality alone. I say all that English to say that a lot of these niggas is not faithful. Sis, you might be fine as fuck. You might be yellow with a yellow bone, red bone, you know what I'm saying? Everything laid and dried and whatever. These dudes will fuck anything. I'm just keeping it real. Same thing too is applicable with a lot of the ladies. The women cheat too. Men cheat, women cheat, especially in this day and age where everybody, you know, exploring their sexuality and things like that. Again, like I mentioned, sexuality has always been fluid. It's just that today people are becoming a lot more bold about it, you know, because of the internet, because of Twitter. The amount of P words on Twitter, people are a lot more, you know, experimental, if you want to call it that. But Chad, when I tell you, I am so grateful to God Almighty that I am Uche. I have traveled the world. I have intentionally, meticulously, seriously, with deep stillness studied people. Yeah. As a result of all this vapid shit, people are just, You know what I'm saying? They're together on the gram. Everybody looks good, Chad, but they're cheating on each other. He's slinging dick and she's popping pussy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I can say that with these algorithms, Chad. There's a whole lot of cheating, infidelity going on. And that's okay. On the that's okay for the most part. If you're about that life, some people are definitely about the sharing is caring life, not a problem. But you can only imagine the amount of STDs being passed down, especially for women, because a lot of women tend to be the receivers. You know what I'm saying? Men tend to be the givers. There's a lot of people who are passing STDs back and forth. The amount of STDs, especially herpes, especially things like HIV. Do you know how many women contract HIV on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, especially black women, because black women in America, because black people in general are disproportionately underrepresented when it comes to healthcare. Do you know the amount of HIV that is being passed from having vapid, shallow relationships with men who ain't shit, who will fuck on anything? We're not talking about these things enough, fool. Again, those things are not bad. They're not bad in the sense that I understand the whole vanity thing. I understand the fact that people have to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? I understand that shake a little ass and be a little yellow. You're able to get a bag, grab the bag. I understand. I'm definitely not shaming anything, especially us black people. We've definitely been subdued. We've come a long way, and we're trying to play catch up when this capitalistic game. Not a problem. But I think people need to start being honest as to reality that is being shaped by all of these things. Remember, this whole realm is complete with symbiosis of cause and effect. We complain about the effects, but nobody's talking about the cause. This is the effect of the worship of vanity. Vapid, shallow relationships where people are getting together with each other just because of how much bag they have, or how yellow they are, or how real bad bitch they are, how they're a real nigga, whatever the fuck it is. And no one is connecting in the mind or in the spirit. And when he cheats on you, you act brand new. When she cheats on you, you act brand new. And when he gives you STDs, you act brand new. Stay protected. Ladies, I think a lot more ladies, especially black women, need to learn about PrEP, okay? PrEP definitely will prevent you 99% prevention of HIV and AIDS, but it will not prevent you from catching other STDs. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. And this is my opinion, Chad. Don't quote me, but in my opinion, if you are a high quality woman and man, okay, high quality, high value man, just stay single. Just stay single, okay? Just stay single, because these dudes out here, just stay single, Chad. Just get you a rose, get you a little, you know what I'm saying? I can't say the D word, Chad. The plastic one, and just call it a day, because Chad, baby, don't ever get me started with these cruising sites. I am so glad that I am Uche. I am so glad that I'm the black sheep of my family. I am so glad that I'm the outcast of, you know what I'm saying? I am so glad that I am me. What an honor to be Uche, because I have gotten the opportunity, the privilege to travel the world and study and come to realize, like, tap into things like knowledge that I feel like I would never have been able to see if I was a straight man, if I was a white man, if I came from, the suburbs, if I was born in like uppity neighborhoods and things like that. Like, being an outcast that people looked down on from the beginning, no one believed in me, pushed me to like push the limits of like intentionally studying this world. And I've done the mathematics, and the mathematics say humans ain't shit. Now, this is my lingo of saying that human is fallen. Human is a fallen being. To be human means to be fallen. Cha, the cruising. Don't ever get me started with the cruising sites. Like, when you go to cruising sites and you see where people are cruising, you see the amount of wedding rings on these men's fingers. Marriage does not protect you. A lot of y'all who want to get married because you think that marriage is going to protect your child. If it's going to cheat on you, it don't matter if you got a ring on it or not. He will cheat. Okay? I see a lot of women who say, I don't want to share. I don't want to date with I don't want to date a bisexual man or pansexual. It don't matter if it's straight, bisexual, pansexual. If a man wants to cheat on you, he will cheat on you. If it's going to pass down STDs to you, he will pass down STDs to you. I feel like I need to write a book. I feel like I need to write several books. Chinekele. Unless you are ready to be honest with it and make peace with the new reality of the dating scene and know that it is what it is, and it's just indicative of cause and effect. It's reflective of cause and effect. This is just the world that we collectively as humans, we have created. I just wanted to share that. Just protect yourself, Chad. Unless you don't mind being about that life, then in that situation, have fun. Uche, peace and love.
I've heard stories. People meeting on Tinder, Grindr, Bumble, Hinge. They connect, they vibe, they talk all night. Everything feels right. The chemistry, the laughter, the feeling of being seen. Then weeks later, they're sitting in a clinic staring at a test result that says positive. And the first thought that hits them isn't even anger, it's disbelief. How did this happen to me? Because they weren't being careless, they were just trusting the wrong person.
So I'm scrolling on Facebook, and this girl went on this site that's exclusively for people with like HSV, HIV, and other diagnoses. And she's screenshotting profiles on that site and then exposing them in the Facebook comment with the caption, "Stay safe out here." Bitch, what is there to stay safe from? They're on a site that's allowing them to exclusively deal with each other. And isn't it like a HIPAA violation? I don't know. I guess because they're on a public site or they're on a site at all that it wouldn't be a HIPAA, but isn't it something protecting those kinds of people that are on a site dealing with each other exclusively? And then someone makes a fake profile and takes photos of those people and then exposes them on another social media site. Like ignorant ass mother. Ooh. And what irritates me is that I'm an advocate for people to go get tested, know your status, know what's going on with your body, and if there's something going on, get treatment. But I feel like posts like that and stupid shit like that prevents people and scares them to even go get tested, let alone get treated. So that's how the spread of all this shit is going on. It's not, of course, it's unprotected sex, of course, all of that kind of stuff, but it's ignorance at the end of the day. And it's a stigma being pushed and people being fear-monged into not taking care of themselves. That irritates me. Because I'm tired of hearing these sob-ass stories about how I trusted this person well, I have friends, I have people who I've known for years who have told me their tea. I would never in a million fucking years think to tell their tea that's such a violation of their personhood. Let alone go on a site where they're trusting that is exclusively for them. Screenshot their profiles, their name, their age, their living location, and post it on Facebook. How dumb! And then y'all want to come on here and complain about how the numbers are rising of HIV, how the numbers are rising of HSV and all these other different diagnoses. Y'all, the problem. You spread ignorance every single day. You talk stuff about people with these diagnoses and they're afraid to disclose. They're afraid to even go get tested. And if they even go get tested, they're afraid to follow up. Like, you are creating the scenarios that you hate and despise so much by spreading this ignorance. Your friends to get tested. Encourage people to go get tested. I know somebody who I was talking to, not like in a romantic way, but I was talking to them, having a conversation, and we were talking about getting tested. And I was like, when the last time you got tested? And they were like, 2 years. I said, absolutely not. I said, I'm making the appointment for you. Like, if you my friend, I'm going to encourage you to go get tested and know what's going on with your body because I want you to be healthy. I want you to be safe.
Now, let's be real. HIV isn't a death sentence anymore. With today's medicine, people can live long, full lives. But it is life-changing. It means taking medication every day. It means regular doctor visits. It means thinking about your health in every relationship you ever have again. It means explaining over and over to new people, hoping they won't judge you or walk away. And emotionally, it can feel like the ground just disappears under you. You question everything, your choices, your worth, your trust in people. It's heavy.
It's not the men who know who these weirdos are. It's the women. The women know who these weirdos are. We not the ones interacting with them. You are. It's not us. It's y'all. Y'all are exploiting them. Y'all are using them on dates for money. Y'all are talking to them in the DMs when y'all get bored. Y'all know who these dudes are. At the end of the day, if these women are opening up their legs or getting down on their knees to that man, Why would he stop? The fact of the matter is, y'all ladies are going to get yourself hurt. Y'all women are going to continue to find yourselves in these positions where y'all are going to be harmed. Dudes, these predatorial dudes, they exist. And this may come as a news flash to you, buddy, but we don't know who they are.
What do I do? Cry in front of you so that you understand what it's like to have this type of pain inside of me? Do I cower?
Wow, explosive comments today from that man who knowingly infected his lover with HIV. He says it's not his fault that he's not sorry. 10 News reporter Vanessa Van Hefty is now live at the Hall of Justice. And Vanessa, the victim was in the courtroom as well and had strong words for his ex.
Yeah, an emotional day for him, Steve, in a landmark case. This was the first willful HIV transmission case in the state of California.
That I'm not a monster.
Thomas Guerra says he's not a sociopathic monster, one who knowingly infected his lover with HIV and laughed about it to friends. He blames his victim.
I'm not remorseful. Understand the medical facts and accept the fact that he just can't take responsibility for his actions. I did not rape this person. I did not take him up against his will. Within 5 minutes of Grindr text messaging, he was there. So, I mean, if you're that reckless with your life, how can you blame anyone else for your actions?
We are protecting his ex's identity and have disguised his voice. He says Guerra never told him he was HIV positive. He pointed to the more than 11,000 text messages from Guerra mocking those he infected.
These text messages and emails document Mr. Guerra convincing an alarming number of younger men that he was in love with them so that he could lower their resistance. Pause. There is absolutely nothing even remotely humorous about this.
The judge blasted Guerra for his lack of remorse, saying she wished she could have locked him up longer than the law allows.
In my career of 25 plus years, I have seen even somebody who's been convicted of murder be so lacking of insight or blame or responsibility.
And had the DA charged Guerra with a felony, he would have been looking at up to 8 years behind bars. But this was a misdemeanor, meaning 6 months was the max. And the judge called that sentencing a travesty, considering the damage that was done here.
First, we got a hotel room and we decided to spend time together. So, like I said before, he told me that he was HIV undetectable and he was taking his meds. Okay? Okay. So, with that being said, you guys, I took his word for it, you know, because like I said, before I met him, I already kind of knew about HIV because I talked to someone that was HIV undetectable that taught me about the meds and everything. And, you know, I appreciated it. So, you know, I was kind of understanding of that. I was very understanding of it because, you know, I'm not a judgmental person because, you know, I try not to treat people, you know, I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, you just never know what people went through to get what they have. So, you know, I have the heart to give people a chance and look past that, okay? So, as I said before, we got together and everything. Of course, we spent 2 days together in a hotel room. And I didn't tell you guys, but back in 2020, judge him. You know, because I looked at his heart and he was a good person and I didn't look at the fact of, you know, the things that he did. I just really appreciated him for taking the time to, you know, want to get to know me, spending, you know, just being consistent and everything with talking to me. So, you know, it was just really, 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 you know, I was in love, basically. So, as I said, we spent 2 nights in the hotel together and everything. And of course, you know, blase. And that morning after the second night, he left that next morning after I got up. Well, before I got up. And, you know, it was kind of strange to me that you left, but I'm just like, okay, so I stayed there for a while until checkout time. And I noticed, like, when I went into the bathroom, something was different. So, as I went in the bathroom to go pee, it burned. And I didn't go all the way in depth in my first story time video, but I just feel like I need to let you guys know. Okay, so it did burn when I peed. And I noticed that it was strange, so I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? You know, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. We did have unprotected sex. We did. And I took accountability for that. So I just want to go ahead and let you guys know. The choices that I made in my past, I've already made peace with. So there's nothing that anyone can say to me to make me feel guilty or bad for the choices that I made back then, because I took responsibility and accountability for my wrongdoings as well. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there for you guys. But as I was saying, it was different. So, he texted me or whatever, good morning. He had to leave because something came up. I'm like, when I met him, he didn't look like anything was wrong with him. And that's the things that I want you guys to learn. That some people don't show symptoms of what they have. Because when I seen him, when you think a person has a disease, you would think that something looks different or uncommon on them. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, he didn't show no symptoms. So, that's why I was just like, okay, he's HIV undetectable. So, he take his meds. So, then I don't got nothing to worry about. That's the way I was thinking. So, as I was saying, like, maybe like a couple of weeks went by and I started showing more and more symptoms, and I was like, God, oh my goodness. Like, I was so scared. And then when I started showering, it would burn. When I brushed my teeth, it burned. When I even tried to drink water or eat anything, it started burning, like the inside of my mouth. And it was just so crazy, like how all of that was going on. And then eventually my brother started seeing me. Like, I accidentally had my room door unlocked and I was in there looking at myself, and my brother came in and he was like, he paused and he looked at me and he was like, you good? He was like, what you got going on? And I was like, oh my goodness, like my heart was beating out of my chest, y'all. So, of course, I was texting him during that time and let him know the symptoms and stuff that I was showing. And, he was like, oh, baby, we're going to get through this. We're going to work through this. Just know I love you. And, of course, he came up with the excuse of why he left the hotel before I woke up, too. So, of course, with me having the heart that I have, I loved him. So, I just wanted him to be there for me. You feel what I'm saying? So, that's what I was looking at the whole situation as. So, I was letting him know everything, and he was like, I need to go to the clinic and stuff. So, and I was thinking that too. So, as I said, my brother walked in on me, and I told him, please don't say nothing. Like, I asked my brother, please not to say nothing to nobody, because I was scared. I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And, eventually, my parents... So I remember within that time period, I used to look up stuff on TikTok back then to get information about, like just information on anything. Because, TikTok come up with all the resources. You feel me? TikTok is what all the answers is to anything you can look up. So, I was just looking up ways to get rid of bumps. So I seen that you could put toothpaste on bumps. And mind you, my brother didn't say nothing, of course. So, I was putting toothpaste on my face and stuff on certain areas, just to kind of, see if the bumps would go away, but it didn't do nothing but make it worse. And then my dad eventually asked me, he said, Josh, what is going on with you? He was like, what is that on your face? Like, he was like, is you okay? And I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. Of course, I didn't tell them what happened and stuff. So, I'm just like scared and everything. And then I think that was like maybe within a 3.5 week time period before, they actually seen it and stuff, because, the dark spot started getting worse. It started getting worse. Like, I started having sores in my head and stuff. So it was real crazy, you guys. So eventually I had to go to the clinic. So even though I was scared to go to the clinic to find out, you guys, I prolonged it. A minute, and it just got worse. So that's why I said I had dark spots covering my face. I had sores on the inside of my mouth, on my head. I had dark spots on the top, from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I had sores all over my body. I had certain rashes. And then I started having sores and bumps on the inside of my mouth, real bad, you guys. And then I had open greenish looking sores, on your private area, and open red looking sores. And then like, it was swollen down there, and it was just, I'm sorry, but I just need to let you guys know the chances of what could happen when you have unprotected with someone who's not open and truthful with you. So this is the overall message, okay? So as I was saying, like, I eventually went to the clinic, and, I called him and told him, like, I didn't call him while I was in the car with my brother, because my brother took me to the clinic. And then when I got Before I walked into the clinic, I called him, and he was like, "Oh, baby, we're gonna get through this. As soon as you find out everything, let me know. We're gonna push through this. I promise we still gonna get married." Like, I'm telling you guys, I was in love with him, and I felt like he was in love with me. So, of course, I believed him. So, I sat in the clinic for a while and whatnot, blase, blase, and I found out that it was HIV, syphilis, herpes, trichomonas, and chlamydia. So, it was just crazy. And I was shocked. I went into a mental shock. I didn't know what to do, what to say, what to think, how to feel. And, I was very, very devastated. So after, I found out the news or whatever, of course they gave me the pills that I needed to take for the trichomonas and chlamydia, which would clear up, I think, within a week's time or whatever they told me back then. But I most definitely did that. And then I had to get stocked up with the program. They had to refer me to a program in Augusta, Georgia, because I live close to Augusta, Georgia. I live like an hour outside of Augusta, Georgia. So it's like I had to be referred there. To everyone that wants to know about syphilis, let me go ahead and tell you this in this video. Okay. So, because I had waited such a while, and of course I had to wait like almost 2 months to get entered into the program for, that I test positive for the pathogens, not the actual disease, because I took the cure to get treated for it. But when syphilis goes untreated for a certain amount of time, then the pathogens from it will lie as dormant in your bloodstream. So eventually, when I went back out of the clinic to call him, the number you have reached is no longer in service. My heart dropped. Y'all, like my heart literally dropped. Like I felt it drop from right here in my chest to my stomach. And I text him, didn't go through. Messenger, didn't go through. Facebook profile, couldn't find it no more. Snapchat, couldn't find it no more. Everything we was connected on, I could not find you no more. You blocked me. You blocked me. And I felt the worst of the worst. Like, I felt betrayed. I felt hurt. I felt agony, rage, pain, depression. Like, I just felt so much going through my mind at that moment when he disappeared. And to this day, I have not heard from this man. So there you go, you guys.
So, if you're using dating apps, hear me out. Be smart. Be careful. It's not paranoia. It's self-respect. Ask the questions people are afraid to ask. When's the last time you got tested? Would you go get tested with me? That's not weird. That's mature. If someone acts defensive or says, "You don't trust me," you tell them, "I trust myself enough to protect my health." Always use protection. Every time. And don't ever feel pressure to do something you're unsure about. Your body, your rules, your peace of mind.
I said it, man. I said it. How many times do I have to say it about coming out here to Houston looking for a relationship, man? Guy posted something on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. He moved here about 3.5 years ago, man, because he wanted to come to Houston to connect with a female that he met through Instagram. She looked good, standing behind a car, nice fitted outfit on, body was banging. Got here and found out that it wasn't what he thought it was. His story is that when he first met her through Instagram, that she claimed to be a nurse and going to school to on her own dentistry office or whatever. Get out here. A week after he moved out here, a week before she moved out here, she claimed that she lost her job. Her car was getting repoed or had got repoed. And that's just not the crazy story. After they started dating for a while, he noticed that she started disappearing from home a lot. And then when she would come home, she would have all of her friends over. And he didn't have a job, so he didn't have medical insurance or anything like that. He started messing with her and everything was good. About 3 weeks into the relationship of him moving out here to Houston, he ended up contracting something that caused him to burn when he was urinating. We know what that is. That's that big G. You guys don't know what the big G is? That stands for gonorrhea. So he's online crying about that she burned him. He caught gonorrhea. He swore he never cheated on her. He didn't know anybody out here. Now, and that's 3 weeks after he moved out here. Now, come to find out, he's online saying that he has HIV symptoms, guys. It's a sad story to see this man on here crying like this, but it's real. And this is why I say, coming out here to Houston, man, trying to date, man, you're going to end up catching something that not even a doctor can get rid of. Now, in the video, he did say that he's healthy. He's taking medication. That's kind of keeping it under control a little bit. But he's heartbroken because he said that she knew that she had HIV and she should have told him. I think that that is a crime. That should be attempted, you know what, because when you willingly know that you got a virus like that, you're supposed to tell partners, people that you're about to engage with, especially if it's going to be something in the bedroom. So now he has to live with this for the rest of his life. He also went on in the video to say because he contracted what he contracted, there was no need for him to leave her because nobody else would want him anyway. Because he would have to expose the fact that whoever he talks to, that he is infected. So he is still with the lady, but this is the perfect example of what I was saying, guys. You cannot be coming out here to date if you're looking for a date. Come out here just to party. Now, I tell you this story not to talk about women. That was just the story that I was giving you guys an example of. The men out here are just as worse as the women, man. Houston, if you look it up, the statistics is through the roof, man. The HIV rate just out here in Texas alone, mainly the Houston area, because the Houston area is where everybody migrates to because they feel like this is where all the men at who got money, the women who got the nice bodies and stuff like that. But it's not what you think, man. It's nasty out here. It's very nasty, guys. It is nasty. So I'm gonna say this. If you come out here and you plan on moving out here, bring your woman with you or meet you someone back home that you know of, because Houston is not the place to come and look for a date at, man. Like I said before, you're gonna either go broke out here, you're gonna be stressed out, and you're gonna get cheated on, I promise you. But it's a sad situation that this guy got HIV because he decided to come out here in Houston to date, man. Let me know in the comments what you think this guy should do. Should he stay with the woman? Should he left the woman? I mean, in my opinion, just in my opinion, I don't think it really matters whether he stayed with the woman or not. Nobody else is going to want him unless he gets with somebody who contracted the same thing he contracted. Thank you guys for watching.
And let me talk to the people who are living with HIV. You are not 30. You are not unworthy. You are not broken. You're still human, and you still deserve love. There's treatment, there's support, and there's community. You can still build a beautiful life. But for everyone else out there still swiping, please slow down. Think. Because the truth is, love should never cost you your health. The right person will never make you risk your life to feel wanted.
I'm about to have a real conversation with you all. Now, I know lately in the news, you know, they expressed that Houston has a very, very high STD rate. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. People do not care about catching anything. People do not fear HIV. People do not fear syphilis, gonorrhea. People don't fear none of those things. People live life on the edge and they are pleasure chasing, meaning they don't care about the consequences. Long as they can feel good in the moment, that's it. That's all people chase, you know? And I'm telling people the reality of it is people really, when it comes to sex, people don't care about protecting themselves. And ladies, listen to this. I'm a man. I hang around a lot of men. Had plenty of conversations with men. And men, you know, we love to talk about women and stuff with each other, right? And over the years, I can tell you now, the things that I've seen men do and heard men do is crazy. I'm talking about people married, long relationships, and out here having unprotected sex with different people and coming back home like nothing happened. On top of that, not using protection. You got men who will fly out the country, have sex with foreign women unprotected, come back to their wife and girlfriend, sleep with them unprotected like nothing happened. Don't even go get tested. And let's talk about, there's a window in time when you need to get tested. If you have unprotected sex, don't go run to the doctor 2 weeks after that thinking that your results are going to be authentic. They're not. They're not going to be good results, because you have to wait until whatever virus it is detectable. And some of y'all play games. Y'all know that stuff will not be detectable within a week or 2 weeks after unprotected sex, but you'll run and go get tested real quick and be like, oh, I'm clean, bro. You ain't even give enough time to settle in your system. See, people do that too, but that's a whole nother conversation. But man, I'm telling you, these men nowadays, all you have to do is have a pretty face, nice body. Matter of fact, you don't even have to have a pretty face. Just a nice body, and the dude will hit you raw consistently and not even ask you about your stats.
Guys, I don't know about you, but it seems like just about everybody that I know is sick right now. I had about 4 or 5 coworkers already this week call out because they were sick. My mom was sick a couple of weeks ago. She had influenza A. My wife was sick in the house. She was dealing with some aches and pains, headaches, body aches, and all the other sort. Everybody, please just take care of yourselves. Hopefully, this all subsides soon. But there is something very troubling going on, because it just seems like everybody is catching some illness.
On July 25th of 2025, reports have confirmed that Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. plans to remove every member of the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, a move that would have devastating consequences for evidence-based medicine and the future of preventative care in this country. So as a clinician, I can tell you this is not just a bureaucratic shuffle. The USPSTF is the reason insurance companies are required to cover life-saving cancer screenings, depression screenings, HIV prevention medications like PrEP, and other essential services at no cost to patients. Their recommendations are based on decades of peer-reviewed research, not politics. Removing the entire panel isn't about reform. It's about silencing science. If you gut this task force, you're gutting the mechanism that ensures patients, especially those in underserved communities, have access to early detection and intervention. You are opening the door for insurance companies to deny coverage for basic screenings, which means more missed cancers, more preventative strokes, more late-stage diagnoses, and more people dying simply because they couldn't afford to catch it early. RFK Jr. has criticized the task force for being too woke because they use inclusive language like pregnant persons and acknowledge structural racism and health outcomes. That's not wokeness. That's reality. And pretending otherwise doesn't change the data. It just puts more people at risk. This isn't about left or right. It's about whether we are going to protect evidence-based guidelines that save lives or replace them with political theater that leaves clinicians powerless and patients abandoned. This will absolutely make my job and other health professionals' jobs much harder. It will make your care worse, and it is a direct threat to public health.
It is Sunday, August 27th. This week I found out that I have HIV. I was diagnosed on August 23rd. I was diagnosed. Today is my attempt at my first day out. I'm going to the movies with my friend. Had a really hard time with this. It was really hard to get ready. I don't quite know what I want to do with my story. I don't know if I want to share it. I don't know. My mind is 1,000 places at once. But I wanted to document this in case one day I do decide to share it, so that this part of my journey is seen. I also just want to document this for my own self to see how far I come, because I know I have a life of trials and tribulations, and I know that this is important. This part of the story is important, whatever I make it. That's really all. I never thought I would be here. I never thought I would be talking and recording myself crying. It's not who I am. But I'm here. I'm at my lowest point. Well, I've been lower, actually, which is surprising. But I'm at a really big crossroad in my life. And I'm just here. And I'm thankful for that.
Atlanta has 20,000 new cases of HIV in 2025 alone. That is in a span of 8 months. That is crazy work, y'all. If you are out here single and experiencing, or you in a relationship that you really don't trust, you ain't been in it for a very much long time, and you know that man is still out here testing things, you need to go get your behind on PrEP, okay? Do not think that PrEP is only for gay men. It is for women. It is for men. It is for teenagers, even the ones in high school over there humping. Y'all need to find yourself on that PrEP stuff. Someone could have it and may not know. Someone may know they have it and just won't say anything. For the gay boys, they say it takes about 7 consistent days of being on PrEP for it to protect you from HIV. And for the heterosexual people, they said it takes about 21 days of consecutive use to protect you from HIV. So I think PrEP needs to be more talked about. Okay, because we actually have a medication that people didn't have back in the day. So we need to take advantage of it because this thing is spreading rapidly.
Man, them folks just said down there in Atlanta, it's been 20,000 new cases of.
So before you meet up with someone new, remember this. Your life is worth more than a moment of fun. Your peace is worth more than a few likes or a smooth conversation. And your future is worth more than any temporary connection. Get tested. Ask the hard questions. Be honest with yourself and with others. And if nobody else told you today, you deserve real love, safe love, healthy love. Because what's truly attractive isn't danger or mystery. It's honesty, transparency, and someone who values you enough to protect you. Love should build you up, not break you down. Protect your energy, protect your body, and protect your heart. Welcome to the TikTok Drop Capsule, where we talk about what everyone else is too scared to say.